President Tinubu's palliative is ridiculous and insulting to Nigerians. Socialist Party backs 2-day nationwide strike. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel. The SPN also cited the refusal of the government to engage the union on how to mitigate the sufferings occasioned by the removal of petrol subsidy, denial of aviation workers by Air Peace and other airlines to join a union of their choice, amongst other issues. The Socialist Party of Nigeria, SPN, has declared its support for the 2-day nationwide warning strike declared by the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, in response to government interference in union affairs, particularly the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, as well as the NIMO and Abia states. The SPN also cited the refusal of the government to engage the union on how to mitigate the sufferings occasioned by the removal of petrol subsidy, denial of aviation workers by Air Peace, and other airlines to join a union of their choice, amongst other issues. Sahara Reporter had reported that the NLC declared a 2-day nationwide warning strike holding on Tuesday and Wednesday, and an indefinite strike later after the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum given to President Bola Tinubu-led Nigerian government. Declaring its support for the proposed strike, the SPN, in a statement by its acting national chairperson Abiodun Bamigboye and the national secretary Bosa Chinedu, condemned the government attacks on living standards of Nigerians through the implementation of what it described as anti-poor policies, including forced subsidy removal and hike in fuel prices, the regulation of naira, and rising cost of living. Interference in trade union affairs, denial of workers the right to join trade union of their choice, and a hike in school fees. We hereby urge the workers and oppressed masses to join the strike en masse, as these issues are important to the socio-economic well-being as well as the democratic rights of the working class and the toiling masses. We call on the NLC not to make it a sit-at-home strike, but to organize public mass activities like protest rallies and demonstrations alongside the strike. We also challenge the NLC to broaden the demands to include other issues like the wave of high fee hikes and education commercialization, planned electricity tariff hike, and other attacks on the lives of working people, SPN said. According to the party, despite Labour's display of frustrating hesitancy and lack of a consistent fighting strategy, the SPN feel that it is necessary to support any action called by Labour to fight, while continuing to criticize and challenge them to do more. Without this, there will be nothing stopping the rabidly anti-poor and neoliberal Tinubu capitalist administration and its onslaught on living conditions. The suspension of a general strike called in June in response to President Tinubu inauguration day removal of fuel subsidy tipped the balance in favor of the regime, as it completely destroyed any goodwill the labor movement still had left among the workers and toiling masses. But with the August 2nd national protests, Labour had a chance to begin to claw its way back if it had immediately followed up with a general strike. But this did not happen, as the leadership waited a whole month while the suffering continued. All of these have created a feeling among the masses that any actions called by Labour are only for letting off steam and not to really resist or change the situation. Now, the Labour leadership must strive to combat this sort of mood, which exists even among its members, by conducting the forthcoming general strike with all seriousness and then immediately following up with further escalated actions. We welcome the strike and call on workers and the masses to support it. However, we know that unfortunately, the NLC leadership did not command the reversal of the petrol price to 200 naira per litre, which was the price before the criminal removed the so-called subsidy. Rather, he still preoccupies himself with the false expectation of palliative. Tinubu's government and some state governments have come out with some palliatives, which are not only too little and ridiculous, but also insulting. Hence, we strongly feel that if the NLC leadership is serious about resisting anti-poor politics like subsidy removal, hiking school fees, devaluation of naira, etc., it should demand reversal of our policies and demand massive investment in critical sectors of the economy to create jobs, including implementation of a living wage for workers. We support the decision of the NLC to also use the strikes to resist government meddling in the new RTW leadership struggle. While we join the NLC to strongly condemn the government meddling in union activities and affirm the right to independent unionism, We are nevertheless opposed to the extortionist activities of the NURTW workers, activities that exploit road workers and contribute to higher transportation costs. It is not enough to defend NURTW rights of freedom and existence and independence without commenting on these nefarious activities that negate the values and principles of the labor movement and class solidarity. We hereby urge the NLC to use its internal mechanism to reform the NURTW so that it can operate as real union that defends and not exploit its members and road users. SBN called for mass mobilization to secure the popular participation of the mass of Nigerian workers and the poor mass in the strike, stressing that a general strike is a big class struggle that requires the participation of the mass of the working masses to enable it to win. Hence, we call on the NLC leadership to use its organs and structures across the Federation to mobilize, resist privatization, deregulation, rising cost of living, poor wages, casualization, and other precarious workplaces policies, mass unemployment, denial of trade union rights, education fee hike, corruption, and jumbo salaries for privileged few. Mass mobilization and resistance can help with defeat at the anti-poor government. Side by side with mobilization for mass resistance against the anti-poor, neoliberal policies, trade union leaders, activists, and workers will struggle for the nationalization of the commanding height of the economy rather, under democratic working class control. Now the thing is, we're not doing well. Yeah, we're not doing well. So it is better. It's better the palliative to me is a sham and it's a scam. So if they don't advise themselves when they say this is the scam openly, it's not going to be funny. More than insult, Tinubu zero price from the beginning, no good. Go out from Tinubu's government, all eyes on the judiciary. Okay, I do not believe what I experience now because Nigerians believe in you, but the government is in shambles. Addressing this man as a president is the most ridiculous, insulting to Nigerians I see. But not for everybody. The money given to state for palliative should have been monetized than giving food. Exactly. The federal government should have gone to INEC and collected data on registered voters across the 36 states and given each voter 10,000 than that useless palliative of a thing that would never have served. To me, I see it's another way of enriching themselves for one, and that is what it is. They don't have adequate data for distributing them. It is not what we need at this time because I think fixing a refinery should be priority for now. Thank you. Alright, on this note, you've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.